Hey TPZ family, we are live with Ferrin Roy.
Hi.
She is beautiful, she's an author, and her story has gone viral all over the world, just describing how you found your beauty, not just inwardly, but outwardly. Can you share with us about that?
It has been a journey. My mom actually just raised me to be confident at a very young age, so it really wasn't an issue until I became a little older and I started noticing the distractions and the stares from other people. That's when I began to question myself and who I was, but I found God and I'm good.
Yeah. That's awesome. You know, when I was just researching about your story, I was like, she is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
You are gorgeous. Beautiful. And I thought, you know, there's marks or things on our faces like that we worry about, like a mole or I don't like this blemish or I don't like this, but just what you were saying about accepting yourself as you are. And I think you're like a warrior princess.
Oh,
I think it's like God has made you so beautiful. But was it always easy for you to see yourself that way? Is that how you were raised? It
was, and in my book I spoke about how I would have my self-esteem boost conversations in the mirror with myself, and I would remind myself of what I saw despite what everyone else may see, because I've had this my entire life. Despite someone who's seen me for the first time, they may have questions, but you know, as a teenager I would remind myself, like, you know what, girls, you're pretty, like, you got it going on, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So and that was my constant reminder, and that was my thing that I did to keep myself together.
I know for me, like, growing up, the environment I grew up in Australia and partly in Connecticut. But in Australia, I was the only, like, dark-skinned girl. A lot of times in my, amongst my classmates. And the idea of beauty, I didn't always look like everybody else, you know? And so I kind of struggled with, okay, am I really beautiful? Like, you know, my nose is big. Actually, the son of, the little brother of one of my friends was like, why is your nose so wide?
Wow.
And it was like, I'm like, and then, you know, go home looking at my nose, like, oh, it's kind of big.
And now
like,
you're right.
And how it affects you.
Right.
But, like, so for you, did you ever feel like, oh, like, I'm the only one with this birthmark? Like, how am I going to be found beautiful, or am I going to be accepted? Did you ever have?
I think that was one thing about myself. I've never just really valued the opinion of someone else despite my own. But there were times when it may be, let's say I hear 10 comments a day. 9 comments may be positive, but that one negative comment is some kind of just lingers in your mind, and you're like, dang, you know, you get to questioning yourself. But for me, I try not to give hurt for hurt, because if someone says something about my birthmark, I'm more than sure I can find something that I don't find appealing to them, and I can say something as well. But I've just never been that type of person, because I know who I am, and I feel, you know, if you have a question, if you want to educate yourself on something, that's completely fine. But when you say ignorant comments and things to bring people down, I feel like those are people who are battling things internally with themselves. So to me, just a person who is a nice, welcoming person, they won't say mean things like that.
Yeah. And for someone watching, maybe you're struggling with something, or you have a birthmark or something that you're not comfortable with. Ferrin is here to encourage you.
Yes, I'm here.
And so what would you tell that person who's watching now about themselves, that they could know that they can be confident in who they are?
I think you should accept who you are. We're now in a time where everything is about being different. It's important for you, if you have someone that's a role model or someone that you look up to, find someone that's relatable to you. You know, don't try to change everything about yourself just to fit the perception or the look of what everyone feels is the best. It's good just to be yourself, and you'll feel good inside as well. And you never know who you're encouraging along the way. You know, someone can look at you like, you know what, you really inspired me just to accept who I am. That's what I think is the most important. When you step out of your comfort zone, that's when you really feel good.
Yes. Now, okay, I didn't tell them I was going to do this, right? Because I know for some people, maybe you're single and you're thinking, you know, this, whatever, I have a mark on my face, or I have this, something that's odd, I'm never going to find someone that loves me. But we actually have your husband here behind the scenes, and he didn't know I was going to ask him to come up here. But I got to ask him to come up here. Thank you for joining the live.
Hi, guys.
And just share with those watching, how do you, when you first saw your wife, how did you see her?
Well, at very first sight, I thought it was the most beautiful thing I've ever saw in my life. and her birthmark, it kind of just drew my attention in a positive way. And I wanted to know more and wanted to know more about her and exactly who she was. And that was it. We've been inseparable ever since.
So it wasn't really about what was, because a lot of girls are so consumed, like, I gotta be perfect.
Right.
I'm not gonna find a man if I have this or that.
Right.
When you met her, what was it about her? Like, was it all about, you know, of course she's gorgeous. I mean, I don't blame you for pursuing, but just for encourage those girls who feel like, you know, I'm not perfect. I have this. I'm never gonna find a guy. How would you?
Well, initially, I mean, of course, it was her beauty that drew my attention. But when we went out on a date and I got to learn more about her and knew who she was as a person, that kind of just sealed the deal. So, I mean, if you're out there and you think you're imperfect, trust me, there's someone out there for you. You just have to search hard and find. But he'll be there waiting.
Oh, look at that. Thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Right.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So now let's talk about your book.
Okay.
And when did you publish it?
March 12th of last year. So I have my 1 year anniversary.
Oh,
next
look at
month.
that.
Yeah.
And so far, what has the response been like?
It has been amazing, especially just the people who are writing me from all walks of life, from all across the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's really moving for me because
Yeah.
I feel like it's something that, you know, someone may have been scared to step out on faith and talk about something like that. But I feel just kind of set the platform for all the people who needed that extra push and to know it's okay for you to accept how you were made and love who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, I hope you were blessed knowing you should love you for you and be confident about who God made you, because God doesn't make mistakes.
He does not.
He makes everything good and
Yes.
beautiful. And Ferrin,
Yes.
it's been such a blessing to have you on. I know those who are watching will be blessed as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.